A veteran cop, emboldened by his badge, sneered at a black woman during a routine traffic stop, hurling slurs about her welfare Cadillac, until dispatch crackled with her rank, and he realized the woman behind the wheel was the new deputy commissioner, his direct superior, leaving him frozen in the glare of flashing lights in his own unraveling career. Officer Derek Harlan pulled over the sleek black Escalade on the outskirts of Montgomery, Alabama, just after rush hour on a humid Tuesday in July 2023. At 42, Derek had spent 18 years with the Montgomery Police Department, rising as sergeant through a mix of street smarts and connections from his days in patrol. He prided himself on keeping the streets clean, a phrase he used in locker room talks that often veered into territory his colleagues knew to steer clear of. The stop was for a minor infraction. The SUV's taillight flickered intermittently, a violation he'd ticketed dozens of times that month alone. But when the window rolled down, revealing Dr. Elena Washington, 51, a poised woman with silver-streaked hair pulled into a neat bun and wire-rimmed glasses perched on her nose, Derek's routine hardened into something sharper. Elena had just wrapped a long day at the state capitol, where she'd been appointed deputy commissioner of the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency 3 months earlier, the first black woman in that role. Her background was impeccable. A Ph.D. in criminal justice from Howard University, 25 years as a federal prosecutor tackling civil rights cases, and a stint as U.S. Attorney for the Middle District of Alabama under the Obama administration. She drove the Escalade personally, eschewing the state-issued sedan for the comfort it offered after grueling hearings on police reform. That evening, she was en route to a community forum in Selma, her briefcase stuffed with briefing notes on de-escalation training. Derek leaned in, flashlight sweeping the interior. License and registration, ma'am. Taillights out. Safety hazard. His voice carried the drawl of someone who'd grown up in the rural counties north of Birmingham, where old resentments lingered like summer heat. Elena handed over her documents without hesitation, her expression neutral. Of course, officer. I'll get it fixed first thing tomorrow. She noted his name tag, Sergeant D. Harlan, and the faint smirk tugging at his lips as he scanned her ID. He paused, eyes narrowing at the Alabama state seal embossed on her license. Washington. Huh? What's a lady like you doing out here in a ride like this? Government perks. The question hung laced with implication, the kind Derek reserved for stops that didn't add up in his mind. Elena's fingers tightened on the wheel, but her tone stayed even. It's my personal vehicle, Sergeant. Just heading to a meeting. Derek chuckled, low and dismissive, handing back the papers with exaggerated slowness. Personal, sure. Looks like one of those welfare Cadillacs I pulled over before. Folks thinking taxpayer money buys them luxury. You know how many like you I see cruising without a pot to. The slur trailed off unspoken, but its weight landed heavy. Elena's eyes met his through the rear view, steady as granite. Finish that thought, Sergeant. For the record. Derek's smirk faltered for a split second, but bravado surged back. Just saying, ma'am, folks in your position ought to stick to buses. Keeps the road safer for real drivers. He tapped the roof, stepping back. Tickets coming. Stay put. He sauntered his cruiser, radioing dispatch for a routine check, while muttering under his breath about affirmative action hires behind the wheel. The Montgomery PD dispatcher, Carla Ruiz, a 15-year veteran with knack for spotting trouble in logs, ran the plate. Unit 47, that's a state vehicle registered to Deputy Commissioner Elena Washington. Confirm stop details. Derek froze mid-keystroke, his thumb hovering over the console. Say again? Deputy what? Commissioner Washington. Yelly brass. She's your oversight, Sergeant. Proceed with caution. The words hit like a taser to the gut. Derek's face drained of color, the summer heat suddenly cloying. Elena Washington wasn't just any driver. She was a woman who'd greenlit the statewide audit on officer conduct, the one whose signature sat on the memos about implicit bias training that Derek had skimmed and shelved. She reported directly to the governor on police accountability, and her division oversaw every department in the state, including Montgomery's. Derek's promotion to sergeant? Her office had approved a background review. His annual evaluations? Routed through her team. He stumbled back to the Escalade, ticket book trembling in his hand. Elena watched him approach, her phone now recording discreetly on the dash. Protocol she'd adopted after too many cases where she said, "Favor the badge. Everything all right, Sergeant Harlan?" Derek swallowed hard, sweat beading on his brow. "Ma'am, Commissioner, dispatch just... I didn't realize." His voice cracked, the authority he'd wielded moments ago evaporating. He thrust the untouched ticket book toward her like a peace offering. "No violation. Taillight must have been a glitch. You're free to go." Elena's gaze didn't soften. "A glitch? Like the one you were about to write up for my welfare Cadillac? Or the safety hazard from someone in my position?" She quoted him deliberately, each word a scalpel. Derek's mouth opened, closed, open again. "I misspoke, ma'am. Heat of the moment. No disrespect intended." "Disrespect?" Elena echoed, her voice rising just enough to carry to his body cam, which she'd spotted blinking. "You profile me, Sergeant. Slur my character based on the car I drive and the skin I wear. That's not a misspoken heat of the moment. That's a pattern. And as your boss, I'm documenting it." He backed up a step, hands raised. "Commissioner, please. I've got a clean record. Family man. This is my first." "First on camera," she interjected. "But I reviewed your file, Derek. 3 complaints in 5 years for overzealous stops in majority black neighborhoods. Warnings from IA about language and reports. This isn't your first. It's your latest." Dispatch crackled again. "Unit 47, Commissioner Washington's flag to stop. Supervisor en route. Stand by." Derek's knees buckled slightly. He leaned against the cruiser for support. The supervisor? That was Lieutenant Marcus Hale, his shift lead, who'd mentored him through academy and covered for his colorful jokes at roll call. Now, Hale's cruiser crested the hill, lights off but purposeful. He pulled up, stepping out with a tablet in hand. Elena's directive already pinging through the chain. "Lieutenant," Elena said, exiting the Escalade with measured grace. She towered over Derek in heels, her presence amplified by the badge clipped to her blazer. Sergeant Harlan here was just explaining his traffic enforcement philosophy. Hale shot Derek a look that mixed pity and reprimand. "Commissioner, Harlan, what's the sitrep?" Elena recapped succinctly, her phone handover seamless to Hale's tablet for upload. Derek stood mute, the humid air thickening around him as neighbors emerged on porches. Phones out, capturing the tableau. One clip, posted to X by a retiree named Gladys Thompson, read, "MPD cop pulls over black woman, gets schooled by his boss on scene. Hashtag justice served." It garnered 8,000 views by midnight. Hale sighed, rubbing his temple. "Derek, my office. Now." To Elena, "We'll handle internally, ma'am. Full report by morning." She nodded, but her eyes lingered on Derek. "Make it thorough, Lieutenant. This goes to my desk. And Sergeant, expect a summons for the bias seminar next week. Mandatory." As her Escalade pulled away, taillight flickering mockingly, Derek slid into Hale's passenger seat, the world tilting. How was I supposed to know? She didn't plate screaming commissioner. Hale gripped the wheel. "You don't profile, Derek. You ask, you verify. That's the job. And now, you got the deputy commissioner gunning for your stripe." Back at the precinct, the night shift buzzed with whispers. Carla Ruiz, still at dispatch, forwarded the audio log to IA. Elena stopped. Harlan's radio check, the slur implied in his tone. By 11 p.m., Chief Randall Brooks, a 30-year veteran who clashed with Elena over budget cuts to overtime, called an emergency meeting. Derek sat in the corner, uniform rumpled as Brooks paced. "This blows up our PR," Brooks growled. X is lighting up. Racist cop meets his match. "Harlan, what the hell were you thinking?" Derek mumbled defenses. Taillight was out. Routine. She escalated. Escalated? Brooks barked. "You called her vehicle a welfare Cadillac. That's code, son. And she's not just any driver. She's Elena Washington, the woman who can reassign your beat to traffic duty till retirement.